That's the title of tonight, The Lamp with Milk and Honey. And as I was studying this, I'm just gonna share what God was impressing on my spirit with this, because like I've been in and out with it, but the revelation that God was dropping, I was like, my God, like I was taking it for me first. I was like, man, it's a lot of power hits in this chapter. So that's the reason why I wanted to read the whole chapter, because there's so much in it, and I want us to grasp it. So I want to start off with verse 1. It says, Then the Lord said to Moses, Depart and go up from here, you and the people whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt, the land of which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying to your descendants, I will give it. One thing that I want to point out from there that God pointed out to me was, number one, there was a land that God had promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's descendants. So there was a land promised to their descendants, so he was trying to get Moses and the people to that. They were of their descendants, so they were of that lineage. So but despite of what they did, they still had ownership of that land, which was the land of milk and honey. But before I go there, going back to the chapter before, it talks about how the children of Israel, how they had built the golden calf. And because they were like, Moses is taking too long up there, we need a God, we need some direction. So they took it into their own hands and chose to build their own golden calf to worship, and which we all know the golden calf, you can't do nothing, they don't breathe, they don't do nothing. So they were trying to get fulfillment from that, but that got them cursed by God, because God, we already know God says worship me and nothing else.
Right.
So in the chapter before, it was Aaron. Aaron was the priest. And also Moses' brother. And when I was reading it, I was like, God was revealing to me that Aaron was the priest in the midst of the children of Israel. In the midst, he allowed their disobedience to continue. Instead of him standing up and being righteous as the priest that he was, he said, they came to him and said, well, in verse 1 it says, in Exodus 32 it says, Now when the people saw that Moses delayed coming down from the mountain, the people gathered together to Aaron and said to him, Come, make us gods that shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man who brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we did not know what has become of him. And Aaron said, I'm going to go along with it. So whatever, give me y'all gold, and I'm going to make this. Instead of him being the righteous person that he knew he was supposed to be,
right,
he forgot who he was in God, and he allowed them to influence him, and it caused the disobedience among the masses, among the congregation.
Yeah.
Instead of him standing up in the midst and being the priest, as we've been learning about being priests in the body and as well as in our homes. And as that progressed, and then I thought it was funny, because later on in the verse when Moses came down, Aaron tried to pretend like, it was the people's fault. It was the people's fault. He said, well, do not let the anger of my Lord become hot. You know the people, that they are set on evil. So see how he would try to blame them, but in reality, he was out of his position. He stepped out of his way. That was all I was laughing. I was like, God, you funny. But he stepped out of his position of being a priest, and just for us as being people of God, in the midst of us being in our relationships and friendships, and even people in our work and jobs, we have to remain in our positions as righteous people.
Right.
No matter what demands is going on, no matter what, we can't be curved, we can't twist our ways, because we already gave our life to God. So going back on that, and it's going to be pretty much a walk. You're going to be allowing that disobedience, and you're going to be partaking it as well. So just as Aaron did.
So it's like following the crowd. That's what Aaron did.
Exactly. Instead of standing up, saying, also they became, just like how we were talking about the other day. We were talking about the dominion, and how we were saying that the people became idle. The people, they were.